before I joined the CNC, I was a prison officer in Devon for just over 10 years. Prior to that, I've got a military background as well. I'd kind of spent a bit of time considering transferring over to police force, and I'd kind of thought about my local Home Office force. Because of my background, I kind of thought I would at some point be destined to get involved with firearms, whereas by joining the CNC I can go straight into firearms. So I kind of get to almost like bypass the whole beat bobby sort of era and go straight into the stuff that I was aiming to go into. I did get the opportunity to learn how to deal with people and deal with incidents whilst I was in the prison service, so there were some skills that I was able to bring across. But yeah, I did learn also a lot about the general policing skills that are required. I was 35 years old when I applied for the CNC, and I did have an element of doubt with regards to, do I really want to start again on the bottom of the ladder, start a new career path. So that was a concern. But when I looked at the pros and cons of joining, I kind of decided that joining the CNC, leaving prison service, joining the CNC was the right decision. And looking back now, it absolutely was. So I did my research and I looked at the elements of the assessment process. I was able to look at things such as interviews, look at the core competencies that were required, the sort of questions I could be asked, so I could get examples of incidents that I've been involved in the prison service and transfer them across, so I could display that I could meet the required standards for a CNC officer. Other things such as the physical side of things, so I made sure I worked on my fitness to make sure I was able to pass a fitness test. And yeah, just generally kind of finding examples of what I've done in the past and the sort of skills that I've developed that I can then bring across to the CNC. Everyone's been involved in something in their life, or they've had experiences in their life where it could actually be of a positive nature with regards to bringing those skills across. So again, I've got a certain element of incidents that I've been involved in the prison service, the sort of incidents you'd expect a prison officer would have been involved in. People who haven't been in the public sector or prison service, or in fact people who've worked in retail, for example, they'll have dealt with situations where they can display the sort of mindset and the experience and the skills required. The training element was tough. It was probably one of the toughest training courses I've ever done. It's certainly rewarding. You probably don't get a better feeling than when you do finish your training and you're a fully qualified AFO. One of the proudest moments I've ever had. But it was tough but rewarding. But yeah, I know, like I said, I had my doubts with regards to, do I want to start again? Looking back now, I've been at the unit for just about a year now, and I've settled in fairly well. And yeah, without question, I believe I've made the right decision. I'd certainly say do your research, look at what the job entails, because you won't be doing the same sort of tasks that a Home Office constable would be doing. It is a completely different force. Our role is unique to nuclear sites. So I'd certainly say do your research before you apply, but I'd also say it's definitely a job that you should look into. An average working day, I arrive at site, get armed up, and then we've got different tasks that are involved in the core day. So for example, we might need to go out on external patrol, police the 5k radius. We'll be doing patrols around site. We'll just be providing a presence, engaging with the local community, engaging with the site workers, and just generally putting ourselves out there, showing everyone that we're there, we can be seen, we're there to do a job, and that is to protect the site. There's never been a time when I haven't asked for some advice and someone's not been prepared to help me out. People have always gone out of their way to help me. I'd say my favourite part of the role is the firearms. I do like the training. We go away quite regularly just to do firearm training, just to refresh our skills or learn new skills. That's challenging. It keeps us active and keeps us focused on the job. 3 times a year at least we've got to go away and just, like I said, update our firearm skills. If there's been any changes in regards to tactics, and we get taught them by the firearms instructors. And once a year I've got to go through a fitness test I've got to reach 7.6 on the bleep test. I try and keep a fairly good level of fitness. I'm certainly not a marathon runner, but if you can kind of do a little bit of fitness, I've never had any problems passing the fitness test. Coming from prison service to the CNC, it's improved dramatically. I've got a lot more time off to rest, to do the things that I want to do. I get to see my friends, my family a lot more. I get to do hobbies a lot more. I get to basically do what I want, and I've got the time to do it now. I feel so much more settled, and I'm not, stress levels kind of aren't really there. I get time to kind of, like I said, relax and regroup and just refresh my mind, and I'm ready to go for the next set of shifts. So knowing that I'm providing a service that is important to the country, basically, knowing I'm part of a constabulary that is providing such a high level of security and carrying out such an important role, because ultimately if we weren't there, if something was to happen, then obviously the outcome could be catastrophic to the country. So I do have an element of pride knowing that what I'm doing is of value. I'm still in my probation period, so I'm at a point where I'm looking at what sort of directions I want to go. There's certainly a lot of opportunities available. I've got to identify my strengths, so there might be certain areas that I wouldn't want to go towards, but I've got kind of a couple of ideas of the sort of extra duties I want to do where I see my career going.